Hey everybody, this is Michael from Legacy Beverage Center coming to you live from Slow Pour down here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'm right here with Jonathan from Slow Pour. He's the head brewer here at this wonderful establishment. If everybody just wants to listen up, we're going to tell you a little bit about the place. So Jonathan, who are you and what do you do?
My name is John Reynolds. I'm the founding brewer here at Slow Pour Brewing Company. Started here, we opened the doors back in September 15th of 2017, so last year, coming up on our 1-year anniversary here this year. So I do a little bit of everything here to this point. We're a small team, so we all wear a lot of hats, but my biggest area of responsibility is right here in the brew house.
Okay, so what made you want to get into the beer biz?
Well, it started off with an idea from my brother-in-law and I. We're the key business owners, business partners, and we started talking a few years back about his coffee company, and he was new in the coffee market, and he has 2 brick and mortar shops in North Carolina, and I mentioned to him that it would be really cool if he got his coffee into a young up and coming brewery stout and kind of did a collaboration together. And for him, that launched the idea of us starting our own brewery. So fast forward 3 years later, here we are.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me, where did you get the name for Slow Pour from?
Well, the name was kind of a evolution. So we started with the name 1821. So if you're ever here in the brewery and you're up by our bathrooms, we have that number up on our wall. And that was kind of a tip of the hat to Lawrenceville in general and the year that Lawrenceville was incorporated. We moved on from that and moved towards Slow Down Brewing Company, which is intended to point to slowing down your pace of life. I come from a technology background, and so people are always on their phones and never really present. And we feel like beer is one of those things that can bring a community together and spark conversation and friendships and all of that. So that's where Slow Down Brewing Company came from. We had to move off of that name due to another brand that has Slow Down in the name, and from that we landed on Slow Pour. So the same mantra goes into that, just a slight tweak of that name.
Okay, well, tell me what kind of beers you guys are making and what kind of beers do you want to get into?
Sure. So we started day one. We started with 3 brands. We had a pale ale called Sunday Driving. It was the first commercially brewed beer in Gwinnett County. Then we had Nostalgia IPA, which is a mainstay for us. We always have that beer on. And Cotillion, which is our blonde ale, which is another mainstay for us. Since that time, we've expanded our menu to include Southernality, which we just relaunched out into the market. It's a IPA as well. The difference between Nostalgia's feature hops are going to be Centennial and Citra. Feature hops on Southernality are going to be Mosaic and Citra. So then from there, we also have done in the past, we've done a Dunkel, the Honorable, and a variation of that called the Honorable Joe, which we did with coffee, kind of alluding back to our Genesis story. Then we have done a brown ale, an oatmeal brown ale called Get Up Off of That, an oatmeal porter called Hippocratic Oats, a double IPA called The Hustler, kind of again pointing to Lawrenceville history and the fact that Larry Flint was shot downtown. Then what am I missing? Peach Into the Choir, which is our blonde ale on a salted peach puree, raspberry blonde ale. I think those are the main ones that we've hit on to this point. In the future, what we've got coming, we have another brown ale that we're going to be putting out just so that we can have a darker beer option for everyone who, even though it's summertime, still enjoys a nice dark beer. Lighter on the dark scale, but still very drinkable beer for us. We want to get back again to our Genesis story and do that coffee stout that we had originated on. So that's going to be coming down the pipe. Probably a Belgian triple coming up this year. Dr. Tardy was another beer that we did, which is our sour. which we did a limited run of, just 10 barrels, so just a small amount of that made it out to the market. So yeah, that's kind of big picture of a lot of different beers that we've done and a few that we're looking forward to doing. And we got some more surprises that we're not quite ready to talk about yet. But
Okay, tell me a little bit about your facility. How big is your brew house, and tell me a little bit about your tap room.
So we have a 2-vessel tin right now, and we have brewing capacity. Right now we have a 10-barrel fermenter, 220s and 230s. We just put the 230s online about a month and a half ago, so our brewing capacity grew 120% in the last month and a half. Looking to expand on that again here in the near future. We have room for five additional tanks back in this space, and then we can push out into a room that we have over here next to where we are currently located, and push out into that room back there. As a whole, we have a 3,000 square foot tap room, tasting room, built in the early 1900s, beautiful space, and the building overall is about 11,000 square feet.
Okay, tell me about what weekends are usually like here. Like, what kind of crowd do you get? What kind of fun stuff can we expect when we come here?
So we try to be very family friendly. So in the earlier part of the days, we're open Thursday through Sunday, Thursday 5 to 10, Thursday and Friday 5 to 10, Saturday 3 to 10, and Sunday 1 to 6. So depending on when you come, you could see families here, and we have board games and so forth up front for everyone to play. So there's a little bit of something for everyone to do. We have live music on Friday and Saturday night, where we have local musicians come in and play. We have food trucks that will come in on Friday and Saturday as well, so you have a food option here to enjoy. So yeah, and again, we're trying to slow down that pace of life. So you won't see any TVs or any of that up front. We do have a projector that will show community event stuff, community gathering things together. So anything that can bring the community together, like a Georgia football game, or sometimes we'll show Atlanta United games, that kind of stuff. But typically it's going to be a very casual environment where you can just come in, enjoy a beer with your friends and family, and just kind of hang out.
All right, sounds good. Do you mind if we take a tour of the facility here?
Sure.
All right, and we'll be right back.